If you just got deported, don't expect to have the same amenities you had in the US, my boy. First off, no hot water out here. Ain't no left hot, right cold. The water is either gonna be normal, cold, or freezing cold.
Life of a lash artist from Dallas, Texas, who got deported after being in the U.S. for 28 years. When I was a little girl, I was 2 years old, and my parents took me illegally to the United States, which my parents were illegal.
Girl, this the kitchen right here where people cook. You probably can't see it good.
Hello good people, welcome to African Commentary. Here we learn and grow every day. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, liking and sharing the videos. I'll really appreciate. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about life after deportation for those people who have been deported from the United States of America. As you all know that illegal immigrants are being deported from America, and so it's so sad to see how people go back to their home country and they are suffering. They have nothing. All their life they have spent energy, effort, making it in the United States of America, but in the end they lose everything. They go back to their homes with nothing and they have to start from scratch. So before I speak much, let's watch some videos and then I'm going to give my 2 cents at the end.
Good morning. My name is Joanne. I'm 47 years old. At 5 years old was the last time I was in Haiti. I have lived in the U.S. all my life. I was forced to be living back in Haiti due to deportation. My life here is not stable. Girl, this the kitchen right here where people cook. You probably can't see it good. This the kitchen, girl. And girl, let me show you the bathroom. This is where you take a shower at. And let me show you where you use the bathroom at. You see that hole? Okay. Now, this where this young lady and her son, she pregnant. She let me stay until I can get out of here or get on my feet. Look. Girl, look. This her son. We all sleep on one bed. Life is hard up here, girl. This shit is crazy.
You just got deported, don't expect to have the same amenities you had in the US, my boy. First off, no hot water out here. Ain't no left hot, right cold. The water is either gonna be normal, cold, or freezing cold. It's like you gotta water the water, bro. El agua se mira bien marchitada. That's the best water pressure you're gonna get. And there's times, most places in El Salvador only get water like 4 to 5 hours per day. So you know what you gotta do? Te agarras una paila, papá. After a week, you'll be clean, traumatized, y pije salvadoreño.
When we first migrated to the United States 28 years ago, I was only 5 years old, and I do remember a lot of these things still being the same. I remember us not having access to a restroom and having to shower outside with buckets of water. I think I spent so many years of my life thinking that I would never be back home. And now that I'm here, it does make me sad to see that if I want to give my kids a future here, I have to start from scratch with literally nothing. And although I did make the decision to go to a bigger city, it does make me sad to see that these places just get abandoned like this. I hope this is a good reminder for the people that are in the United States that are undocumented, to let them know that you still have a place back home and you should always have a plan B. You don't want to be left in a situation like I am, where I literally have nothing and I have to start from scratch. I've had a very humbling experience living here for the last 4 months, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed my videos and come along with me on this journey after deportation. In this video, you can see my Tío Pedro walking. In the far end, the brown house is what used to be my grandparents' house. The white house is where my Tío Pedro currently lives. And this big terreno belongs to my parents. I know that if I decided to stay here, I can create something big and beautiful. But honestly, I'm having a hard time adjusting to life in the pueblo. And I've mentioned to you guys before that the income here is very minimal. And before I end this video, I want to give you a reminder to please be grateful for what you have, because many have less.
Life of a lash artist from Dallas, Texas, who got deported after being in the U.S. for 28 years. When I was a little girl, I was 2 years old, and my parents took me illegally to the United States, which my parents were illegal too, and all of my siblings were U.S. citizens, but they were not the age of 21 and older. I was processed by ICE because I did not have a license and I did not have a social, so they allowed me to continue to fight my case in the U.S. So I fought my case. But in 2019, they decided, from 2013 to 2019, they decided, and the court decided, that I needed a voluntary departure because I did not hold any of these things, right? So when I went to court, my case was closed, and when I went to go report, because I was out on recognition since 2013, they basically told me that I would be eligible of a petition since I was married to a U.S. citizen. I had already gotten married, but the lawyer that I had at the time gave me bad legal advice and told me to just return to my country and find a job and make a living here. After I left court, I went to go report, which is something that you have to do when you are trying to apply for your residency or just trying to stay in the States, period. So I showed up, and the judge who had been before me my entire time going to court told me that that lawyer had given me bad legal advice and for me to get a new lawyer. So I ended up finding a new lawyer, and he petitioned for me. My husband is the one that is a U.S. citizen, so I filed a petition and I filed a cancellation of deportation, which was supposed to cancel the deportation. But with everything happening with Trump right now, there's no way for them to cancel the deportation because it was already there. That is the reason why I'm in this position in the first place. My parents never had the money to fix papers for me, so this is why I'm in this position. I also never applied for DACA because my parents didn't have the money, and they didn't have the money to even fix papers for themselves. We always had really poor jobs and really sucky jobs just to make a living. It just was impossible, and I hope people could just understand that.
I'm gonna try to make this video real quick, bro. Hopefully help somebody out. If you got deported just like me and you didn't invest in your country, bro, more than likely you're gonna be working in a call center, right? Which is the worst. But anyways, like, that's what it is, bro. That's the only type of job you're gonna be able to have if you wanna win like a little bit more money. You know what I mean? So here where I'm at, bro, in El Salvador, call centers are stressful, bro. You're gonna be working 10 hours a day, every day for 5 days straight out the week. And you're gonna be making anywhere from $600 to $800 a month. Yeah, bro, like a month. Not every week, not every 2 weeks, like a month. You're gonna be making $600 to $800 a month. And not only that, bro, the management, they're a little bit pushy. It's kind of stressful, bro. It's stressful to.
One stupid mistake cost me everything. I'm a tattoo artist here in Tijuana. Been here for 10 years. I got deported in 2015, and I served a 20-year sentence out of a 29 to life. At the time, I didn't realize what a waste of time of life, you know. I just didn't care, you know, but that was just how I lived in a gang culture. But now that I'm free and I've been living this life and I can look back, man, I can't even believe somebody would do that kind of lifestyle. It's a total waste, man. Total waste of life being a gang member or a criminal. Living a decent life and working for a living and having a good life and enjoying life, that's the beautiful thing about life. People can change the way they live, people can change their lifestyle, man. I'm a living proof, and you know what, today I look at all that stuff and I can't stand it. And enjoy your life, man.
Girl, this the kitchen right here where people cook. probably can't see it good. It's the kitchen, girl. And girl, let me show you the bathroom. This is where you take a shower at. And let me show you where you use the bathroom at. You see that hole? Okay. Now, this where this young lady and her son, she pregnant. She let me stay until I can get out of here or get on my feet. Look. Girl, look. This her son. We all sleep on one bed. Life is hard up here, girl. This shit is crazy.
Let's go hang out with my mom at her store in Mexico. After being in the United States for about 18 years, my mom had a real culture shock when she came back to Mexico for the first time after that long. And one of the biggest things she struggled with was employment. She struggled to find high-paying jobs, and as she's gotten older, it's been a bigger challenge. Last year, I offered to help open up her own store. The store is only a block away from her house, which makes it very convenient to come to work. I am visiting my mom this month for the holidays, so she's not opening up her regular hours, but she is still gonna work a few hours when she can. So I'm gonna go hang out with her. I wish I had good news to say that the store is successful and profiting, but it's been a real challenge for the last year and a half. She does make enough to pay the rent and sometimes has little profit left over. Unfortunately, the area that it's in does not get much traffic. We have been patient, hopefully can find a better storefront for her. Building life after deportation can look very different for everyone, and it's something I wish we didn't have to navigate as a family. But my mom knows that she is never alone and will always have my support.
Sabadi. My name is Cam. I've been deported May 26, 2025, the group of 65. So let me tell you about my life story. I came to the U.S. back in 1990 when I was 8 years old. So I graduated high school in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska. And I moved to Texas, and I catch me an aggravated assault case back in 2004. With that, I was probably 20 years old at that time, and I wasn't a U.S. citizen yet, so my green card got revoked. By 2008, I got released from prison. ICE picked me up. My green card got revoked, and I was already deported to Laos. At that time, Laos won't accept anybody back. So I was in ICE for 6 months, then they released me of order of supervision. So I got to check in with ICE every year. But for 20 years, I've been checking in since 2008 till 2025. I started a family. I have 4 kids. I have a wife. I have a house. I have a job. I stayed with the company, Benny Key, for 15 years with the company. When ICE detained me, when I go check in 2025 in February, when ICE detained me, my job hired me a lawyer.
What happens to all of your belongings and assets in the U.S. after deportation? This is a great question that somebody asked in one of my recent videos. I'm going to tell you what happened to all of my things that I had in the U.S. prior to my deportation. I had spent 24 years living in the U.S. So when you're living in a country for 24 years, your entire life is there. You have financial assets, vehicles, homes, real estate. What happens to all those things? You lose most of it. I lost my vehicle. I lost a lot of my home belongings. The only thing that I was able to bring across the border that my sister flew out to me, and she brought like 6 maletas with her, was my clothes. Everything else, my mementos, my photo album, everything else was left behind in Utah. My vehicle stayed behind. I still had payments on it, so it was just eventually repossessed by the bank. Obviously, I couldn't afford my monthly payments, and I didn't know how to bring it over. Although I do know that there's ways to import your vehicle, but I don't know the process when there's still a lien and a lender that's hanging on to it. Luckily, I didn't own any real estate. I was living with my mom at the time. I did still have access to my bank account thanks to online banking, and I was able to wire money to myself down here. But everything else, you just kind of lose. And depending on the circumstances of a lot of these people that are being deported, whether they'll have family that can bring it down, most people have undocumented family members that won't be able to cross the bridge or across the border to bring them down their things. So a lot of people will lose the majority of their belongings.
First of all, this is so sad. It's so sad to see a grown adult, maybe someone 40 years, 50 years, 30 years, crying on the internet that he or she was deported and he or she doesn't have where to start from. He or she has nothing. Hey, this is so sad, you know? You have spent your life making money, but you're making money in a home country that is not yours. You're making money creating another nation, but at the end you now go back home, you have nothing. Also embarrassing, right? But now what do we learn from this? We learn that as long as you are an adult, you are above 18, you have the responsibility of taking care of yourself, you know. You know that you're an immigrant in a foreign country. You know that you do not have the legal documents. You know that anything can happen any day, but you're just comfortable, you're just relaxed, and you wait for the day that you're going to be deported so that you start thinking of where am I going to start from, you know. I know that life in the US is not easy. People try so hard to make it, but at the same time, if you're an immigrant and know that you do not have the legal documents, why don't you just work on them, or maybe try and build back home? Because I believe that these people left some family members behind. I don't think they are orphans, like they don't have any parent or any relative that they can help them. While they're making money in the US, they can still use the same money to build back at home. This is a lesson for all of us. We as human beings, we also need to think about our future, you know. You need to have a plan B. You need to say, when this fails, what is my next option? I know life is unpredictable, you know. You might have had plans, you might be just enjoying life, you might be just living well, but out of nowhere, out of the blues, you just hear Trump has made some policies and maybe they affect you. Especially if you're not a US citizen, it is going to affect you so badly. This is so disheartening, if there is a word like that, because you see someone going back to his country, maybe Mexico, maybe Africa, maybe wherever he or she comes from, but has nothing. You need to start from something. You need something to just keep you on moving, but now you have lost a lot of time, have wasted a lot of energy, efforts, knowing that I'm going to live in the US maybe for the rest of my life. You didn't think about home. You didn't think about preparing something for just in case of anything. We also saw how some Somali Americans didn't even want to be deported. We also saw how some of them were crying on the internet because of the home situation back in their home country. There is no job, there is no food, there is no shelter. Someone is just suffering as if you come from nowhere. It is a lesson to us, all of us, even for you black people living in the US. Even if you have the citizenship, even if you have the legal documents, just have a plan B, whereby in case of anything, you know where to run to, you know how to help yourself. You don't need to start from scratch, because don't say that, oh, for me, you know, I have lived here for so long, I have what is needed. Policies are just made. Not even asked if you will comply with the policies or not. They are made and you have nothing you can do about that, you know. He's the president. He's the man of the nation, Mr. Donald Trump. You can't even argue with him. So be prepared, plan yourself well. Just have a backup, you know. You never know. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I would also love to hear what do you have to say about this. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and I really appreciate. See you in the next video. Bye.